Buon pomeriggio a tutti, sono Anna Stefan di Maker Fair Rome, vi do il benvenuto a Maker Learn Festival, la 3 giorni di talk online dedicati all'innovazione tecnologica e digitale. Sono qui per introdurre il webinar di Amra Yup che ci presenterà Phygital Playground for Creative Young Problem Solvers. Il webinar vi ricordo che sarà in inglese. Vi ricordo che potete intervenire utilizzando il box domande. Lascio la parola alla nostra relatrice. Amra, it's all yours. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Anna. Hello, everyone. A very good evening. And my name is Amra, as Anna said, and I would like you to come through this particular thing. I think we're going to keep it very light. So I'm going to quickly just first share my screen to talk about the Phygital playground. I know this is a very difficult word. It's a new word. So Phygital playground, as you see on the screen here, is a term that was coined like a year or two ago, actually, where we're fusing two different worlds. If you notice the word Phygital, Phi comes from physical and digital comes from digital. So it's a fusion of the physical and the digital world. And how is the best way we can do it is something that we've sort of like experimented over the years. A quick introduction about myself. I've been in education for the past 11 years. I've built about 3 startups, out of which one has utterly failed. The other 2 are going on pretty strong. So BootUp is our main company, which is based homeland in Sri Lanka, and I have BootUp here in the Middle East, and the African region, so the MEA region. So these are the 2 brands that I'm representing. Before I start off with the Phygital journey of how it works, I wanted to give a quick backstory to how the Phygital learning. And I think it's important because in 2022, just 4 months before we registered our company, 4 months before the pandemic, when we registered our company BootUp, our first work was to create content for 1,000+ undergraduates who were looking forward to enter the work field, but more in a social context, social entrepreneurship context, right? And what happened when we started this work and when we were designing the concept, the pandemic happened. And so we had to take this forward digitally. How can this work digitally? So that's when our content development journey actually started. Through this work, we have been able to train over 2,000 youth, train over 1,500 educators, hundreds of trainings, as well as a lot of initiatives through the concept of build your learning world. We worked with amazing NGOs, international non-governmental organizations, with schools, with educators, with students, in order to create various learning experiences. So what is entitled to build a learning world is, number one, we call it 3 main steps, 3 pillars. The first step is obviously conceptualizing. So that's why we do the brainstorming. It's where we do our basic architecture of how our learning is going to be, what format are we going to use, how long is it going to be, and we have various discussions with stakeholders to make sure our concept is proved. And then gets into implementation, where this part is the curriculum, where we start building storyboards. So storyboards usually is a term that we use in filmmaking or animations, but we started using it for creating online courses because we wanted to bring the creativity out in these online courses and not make it very rigid. We wanted it to be engaging as much as possible. So storyboard is basically the content architecture, which will have how many different phases are going to be in that particular learning experience and what is each going to entitle, right? Once we have that architecture, we then go and implement the different types of content. So this is the second pillar. The third pillar is finally delivering and designing the workshops. The workshops sometimes might be 100% online, or might be hybrid, or might be 100% physical. So it depends on different contexts how we design and deliver and design these workshops. So that's a little bit of example. I want to get in a little bit more later on, but with BootUp, our main focus is upskilling young learners. Young learners with these 7 basic skills, out of which we're mostly focused on problem solving largely, and then communication, digital, creativity, innovation. We are yet to explore the other 3 arenas a bit seriously. We have touched upon it, but a bit more seriously, we are yet to do it. So if I want to give you some examples of how this works, we use various components like camps, curriculum building, customizable workshops. We do after school activities. We do various camps in different cities of Middle East and some countries Asia Pacific and the North America. And we also have a range of products that sell Phygital learning, as well as, of course, we work with content development. So here you go, Waila. I want to show you a very small glimpse of Phygital learning, how it has worked. Okay, after lots of trials and errors with various products that we have designed, starting from a project called Coding Comrades, where we used microcontrollers, IoT, and get elementary kids to start learning coding. From that, where it failed, to what we have now, our product line is called the STEM Adventure Series. The STEM Adventure Series have 2 main components, which is the physical DIY kit, which looks like this on the left. And then it has the digital learning with simulations, where the instructions are in the form of a simulation, where they drag and drop the parts and fix it first. You know how kids, Generation Alpha kids, are mostly very familiar with touch screens. Their motor skills, researchers say, are not developed so much because there is very little opportunity or very little learning space that caters to such motor skills. To get Generation Alpha kids smooth in to such programs and their upskill programs, we get them to get comfortable with the concept, the theory, and how to fix the kit by using such simulations, digital aspect. And then once they're comfortable, they're confident, they move into physically building the DIY kits, actually. So this is the concept that we worked in, and we piloted this early this year, right at the beginning of the year, and we have proof now that it is impactful, it works, and it's successful among Generation Alpha children. So if I have to dive in a little bit more deeper into this.
Welcome! Did you learn something?
These are some examples of the digital
Everybody
storytelling.
gets ready to learn something crazy today.
We have
What's it about?
explanatory videos,
cross
we've
a
got
mini-course,
animations,
create a rope
we've got
climbing
simulations. So these are
It helps us learn
various
how to-
examples about it, and sorry about all the noise. So the physical kits, and then we have the digital learning. Where do we find all of this in one place, right? So that's our web platform and our application called the Learning Labs, which is right now live. Through this, kids can access to micro learning courses. So this is our second most biggest feature, apart from Phygital learning, is micro learning. And because of the attention span of the pandemonium kids. And what we've done is, with our courses, we've designed it to make it a maximum of 1 hour, 30 minutes, ideally 30 minutes learning. So within 30 minutes, they learn a concept through theory, through quizzes, through animations, through simulations, and then they also fix the kit within the next. So in 1 hour package, they have learned a particular skill. Our STEM adventure courses actually range full of products. So the web platform actually has a couple of features like the collaborative tools, like discussion forums, sharings, magic boards, Padlets, and all of that that are embedded onto it. And then animation, resource documents, explanatory videos, and so on. So these are the general features of it. Once they complete a course, they get an upskill badge that is related to the skill. So this is our mobile app, shows like that. And what I wanted to also show you is that our STEM adventure products are, let me show you that. Yes, our STEM adventure products range from Bluetooth speakers to homemade clocks to solar powered cars, flashlights. So day-to-day relatable objects is what the kids actually built. And they include holographic projectors to vacuum cleaners and so on, right? We've also coupled this into clusters to for it to fall under a particular thematic area. Like it could be sustainability, it could be sports, it could be home tech, it could be mobility, it could be like a detective game or a movie night. So we've coupled it under various themes for children to experience these as under one thematic umbrella, right? So here inside these physical kits, you would find the tools that is necessary, including the screwdrivers to screws to the battery holders to the circuits to wires to all of it, the tools that are needed, and the laser cut wood or plastic or the 3D printed plastic materials coming into it. It also has a printed sheet of a lesson tracker and a comic strip to guide them through some of the processes. And finally, they also have a little upskill badge sticker for excitement once they complete this. So this is one single package of how our STEM adventure products actually entail. And so with this, we tailored this and we launched it across 4 different cities in a particular month in the Middle East. So 4 different countries, 3 different countries, but 4 different cities. So we had it launched in Dubai one particular week, and then we put all our products into our trunk, and then we drove across from the UAE to Qatar, which was about nearly like a half a day drive. We did our program in Doha. Again, we drove to another country called Saudi Arabia. And the next week we had it in Riyadh, the capital city. And then we drove back to the UAE and we have had another city called Sharjah. So in a month, we launched it in 4 different demographic areas where kids came, they learned about, they were able to experience all of our STEM adventure products. So this way our pilot study was concluded that the STEM adventure program was actually, the products were taken quite successfully and impactfully by children from the age of 6 to 15. And we were able to establish that. So from there, our journey continued to summer camps, to all of the summer camps and winter camps across schools here in Dubai. We've done it across 6 schools, 6 to 7 schools across the Middle East itself. We've done camps under the thematic areas of creativity, disability, logical thinking, magnetism, these various areas. So you would also find a few pictures of them enjoying their kits. They're busy building it, and various learnings through it all. So as you see, we have a wide range of students actually enjoying that. So in our camps, this always led to like mini activities, and then it went over to them exploring the kit and then them building it so that they understand the thematic area across it. We also continued this workshop somewhere in June, July in Toronto as well, to try and understand the impact in the Western countries as well, to see understand. This also drove us into cybersecurity with a government organization for Qatar, Doha, where we conducted this yet again in another school with a TOT program. We worked with the Harvard alumni for social emotional learning fused with the what do I say? With the STEM adventure programs. And so these are some of our other presence across the world. This year, we've been able to represent ourselves in Web Summit, in the LEAP conference, the Coalition STEP conference, and across other countries like Thailand, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka. So these are some of the areas that we've worked with. So Phygital learning, that's the positive side of our growth, of how we were able to learn how the physical physical learning and digital learning, we've done this separately, but what happens when we fuse it together? Our phygital learning courses, which is the STEM Adventure program, actually works the way where they take it by themselves. So it's self-paced online courses. So it doesn't need an intervention of any adult for them to learn. So they can go on the mobile application or the web platform to order it, and then the kit gets delivered to their house, and then they start working on the kit, and then they're able to collect the badges through it. So this is sort of like the overall idea of Phygital learning, how it works. I would like to give a quick pause here before I continue, and I'm wondering if there are any questions that you would like to ask me in terms of what Phygital learning is, or is there anything that you have done in terms of Phygital learning? Have you explored it? Would love to hear about it on the chat or through Q&A to understand if there's
they only have the Q&A box tool to communicate with you. At the moment, we have no questions. So yeah, I will let you know if some questions will arrive. So if you want to continue.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
So what I would also like to show you is one of our programs on online, and I would like you to show the flow of the work, of how it works. So let me just share my screen again.
Welcome back, Andra.
Hello.
Andra, can you hear me?
Hi, Anna. Sorry, my Mac crashed.
Welcome back. We were waiting for you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. My Mac crashed is still not switching on, so I'm on, unfortunately, on my phone. So please bear with me. I was sharing my screen on a couple of examples I wanted to show. So
meanwhile, we have a question from a participant. So if you want to.
All right, great. Would love to.
Okay.
Yeah, would love to answer it. Go on. Okay, so
you have two questions actually.
The two questions, all right.
Yeah.
So could you kindly advise on the best alternative channels to get in touch with BootUp, as it seems the website is currently inaccessible? Yes, ideally LinkedIn or Instagram is the best way to do it. And you can search for Go BootUp. And we are pretty active on social media, so you would be able to get connected with me in that way. Thank you so much. I will try and get the website fixed. I'm wondering what went wrong there. And the next question is, how does BootUp ensure that its platform not only empowers educators to create innovative courses, but also aligns with the diverse pedagogical needs of an ever-evolving educational landscape? I think that's a brilliant question. The fact that I want to give you an example of one of the first courses that we designed, where we used one. Unfortunately, it took a whole year to conceptualize it because I think we were trying to be a perfectionist. We partnered up with an IoT providing startup, a company called Magic Bit, based in Sri Lanka. So they have their hardware components of the microcontroller, the sensors, and they also had their web-based platform on block coding as well, which is based on Scratch, of course. So we partnered with them to create learning experiences. We created a 10-week program. And to create this, we selected few ICT teachers or computing teachers from schools. We trained them, we empowered them to become experts in this area. And then with their help, we co-created the program, the 10-week program. We thought it was brilliant because we created a huge learning map canvas, which the kids can work on with all their little tiny gadgets on it. We created pre and post work because the main learning exchange was through live classes for 10 weeks. Okay, so we had pre and post work where we wanted kids to sort of like learn certain basic things on their own, like what's IoT, what are the different sensors and stuff like that by themselves, with quizzes and with digital storytelling and so on along with that. What happened, we launched this, we did a pilot study in the city of Riyadh in Saudi, as well as in Nairobi in Kenya. Our first pilot studies were done. Unfortunately, after a couple of things, we realized that we had a huge, massive logistic problem. So with electronics, the IoT and the certain components were trapped at the customs in some of the places, like especially in Nairobi. And we realized that the amount that we had to pay to customs was much more than our entire course cost. So unfortunately, some of the kits are still in the customs and we haven't taken it out because we don't want to, it's too expensive. So these are some of the challenges that we went through in the beginning for us to understand what it is that we need to do, what it is that we cannot do. Recently, we are also running a STEM camp for a winter village here in Dubai Mall, under the brand of Kidzania. So when we wanted to get some snow globes to the country, where we designed how they use the 3D structure and 3D pens to try and build these snow globes, we realized that the packets had glue and it was stuck in customs once again for about 4 weeks minimum, which is way too long, to be honest. So these are certain things, what chemicals, what electronics and stuff that is that's not that cannot be transported is a very important thing. But apart from that, like I said, beyond all of these logistical problems, the educational needs. Now, me as a person, I've been empowering educators over 7 years now, and we've tackled different types of learners, we've tackled different types of age groups of how diversity also creates. So for example, children in Southeast Asia and South Asia are very different to learning compared to children in the Middle East, who mostly feel privileged and they think that they're entitled to it. Their form of learning is very, very different, of how the attitude or the culture is different. Second thing is, of course, in terms of Gen Z to Gen Alpha is a huge difference as well, where we've tried to focus more on the digital component compared to the physical component. We've tried to ease it them by the time they come to the physical component. As you see, I work with kids who who are 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, sometimes they still don't know how to use a scissor and cut, unfortunately, which is a very basic life skill. So these are certain things that we have tried to tackle. And through our storytelling approach also, we have addressed diversity, we have addressed dyslexia, we've addressed by using the storytelling script to be as simple as possible, not to have complicated words, so that even a year one child can understand what is being said, despite what background she's from, whether she's a native English speaker or another. We are on the move of in the process of adapting this under different languages. We're starting off with Arabic because that is for our market need. That is what is there, and then we will be moving on to French as well, and slowly we will be using AI tools to sort of like adapting these to various languages as well. So these are various steps that we have taken to address this. I hope that answers the question. So unfortunately, I had everything. My Mac still is refusing to wake up. So I'm just going to show you a couple of other examples of simulations that can be used beyond what BootUp actually offers. So one example would be Gizmos e-learning.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Amra, I think we have another question.
Oh, there's another question, okay. Let me see. Okay, great. So as representatives of a group of educators, we would be absolutely delighted to meet you at the upcoming Maker Fair to discuss your recent and future advancements in graded ed. May I kindly ask if you will be in attendance? Well, we were this year, to be honest, we were hoping to be there physically, and unfortunately, with everything happening, it turned out to be a virtual one. So hopefully, the upcoming year, we would love to. Anna, that's I think up to you to see if you can fit in a program from BootUp for the Maker Fair actually. So
we will be more than happy to have you.
Would be lovely. That's great. So I think those are the questions, and you're welcome. I think Antonia has actually responded. You're welcome. So a couple of examples, like I said, I think we do have a little bit more time, I understand.
We have more or less 10 minutes.
All right, perfect. Okay, great. So that's going to give me enough and more time. I'm sorry, this was supposed to be a better interactive one, but I'm going to try and make best of what I can do with this device. Right, let me share the screen. These are examples that we use in our workshops. Sometimes if we want to go beyond what BootUp platform approaches, because every workshop is designed that critically just for that particular thing. So sorry, I didn't realize we are already sharing the screen. Okay, here you go. So Gizmos is an example. I think it's an American brand. I'm not sure where the origin is, but it's largely here in the Middle East. So here, if you look at it, this is a simulation that allows you to understand. This allows you to understand how plant would grow under different environmental conditions, right? So I used this in one of the sessions recently called Plant Secrets. So this allows you to sort of like use the different if you notice here, sorry, I think I need a oopsie. Right. Yeah, it will allow you to sort of like use change the water levels, use different types of seeds like tomato seeds, bean seeds, turnip seeds, and allow you to add fertilizer, so remove fertilizer, and try and understand how, and click play, and over the course of 50 days you'll be able to see the growth in a couple of seconds. So these simulations are really, really amazing to combine with something that you're already doing. So I wouldn't advise this to be as a standalone learning experience. I would always try to combine these If you're in a physical workshop, digitally, what else can you infuse? Or if you're in a physical classroom, digitally, what can you infuse? And vice versa, if you're in a digital classroom or a virtual classroom, what is the best that you can do? So here's another example of PhET simulations. I think this is pretty actually widespread everywhere. It has a huge range of simulations from math subjects to science subjects to a couple of other subjects. These are just examples that I want to show you. So this is kinematics. It talks about kinesthetics of how projectile motion is different. So obviously you're not able to do this in real life. So such simulations will allow children to sort of like work around with it. Another example that we use in school. So this is not BootUp, but in school that where I'm a stream teacher. It's called Arcadia British School. We use Seesaw for an experience as well. And so with Seesaw is in a, you can call it a learning management system sort of a thing, but I love Seesaw where we can integrate its different components into a nice interactive lesson. So in a physical classroom, what we do is, I will share the screen as well in a couple of seconds now. What we do is I created a game. So this was under when we were teaching about SDGs, and more particularly it was on SDG, the climate action. So we created a snakes and ladder game where children tried to learn with their partner. They played on the Seesaw tool to learn about this. So here you go. Let me show you the screen now. So here what we did is right here what we did is it was a snakes and ladder game where instead of snakes and ladders, we had positive and negative affirmations of climate action. So for example, here, this is a dice that is inbuilt where the kids can actually just use it inside. So we didn't need a physical dice there. They had little avatars that they can move around, you know, the snakes and ladder game, and change the color and stuff like that. So all they had to do was just drag and drop and play it around. So if I have to zoom in a little bit and show you a few of the affirmations here. So this is certain things like you cycle to school instead of going by car. So that's a positive thing. So they're able to move forward. If it's a negative thing, for example, you left your mobile charger plugged in, go back 2 spaces, so they go back. So likewise, these are certain examples that we've tried in a school classroom, and it has worked. So next they get the leaderboard and they can put in their picture, and then they can do a final exit ticket. They can write what is it that they have learned to sort of like, you know, work around with this. So beyond BootUp's digital learning, unfortunately, I've been able to use this experience to create you know, such experiences for outside a BootUp thing as well. So yeah, so these are a couple of examples that I hope that helps you to inspire that no matter what setting you are in, whether you're in a classroom, outside your classroom, in the middle of a playground, there's always some aspect, or if you are in a virtual classroom like this, like Zoom or Google Classroom, Google Meet or anything, how is it that you can bring the physical component? So the other way around, I will just maybe finish this off with one last example, is when the pandemic hit. Since I've worked with online educators for about since 2013, because my first startup was live online tutoring called Global Tutor, shut down after 6 years, unfortunately. But since I had the experience of training teachers how to do a virtual session very engagingly. With the pandemic, we had a flagship program called Virtual Classroom Training. We gathered more than 600 teachers for that particular season. We did it as a CSR project, to be honest, and we delivered learning kits for them with little post-it notes to learning maps to stuff like that. We delivered it to them prior to the program started, and while they were virtually connected to us, we have these learning kits and we used it throughout. So that was also a 10-week program, if I'm not wrong. For 10 weeks, every week we used to meet them for 4 hours online. Can you imagine that? So we had 0 slides for these sessions. It was all upskilling. It was very, very interactive, very engaging. And the teachers were able to use this physical component then. So with that, that's I think is a conclusion on my side. So a Phygital playground is something that you can explore. It's very, very interesting if you can explore and do it right.
So thank you so much, Amra, for all the interesting information that you decided to share with us today. This is our last webinar of Maker Learn Festival for this edition. So thank you very much. Grazie a tutti i partecipanti. Questo è l'ultimo webinar di questa edizione di Maker Learn Festival. Vi ringraziamo tantissimo per aver partecipato e vi auguriamo una buona serata. Vi aspettiamo sul nostro sito www.makerfairrome.eu per ricevere gli aggiornamenti dei prossimi eventi legati a Maker Faire. Grazie a tutti. Thank you so much, Amra, and hope to see you again very soon.
Absolutely, my pleasure, Anna. And thank you to everyone who attended it.
We have a last question.
Oh,
quickly.
Okay. Let me find it.
Allow us to...
Oh, I found it. Allow us to commend you on such a remarkable project and impressive versatility. Regrettably, we must take our leave. Rest assured, we shall stay in touch via LinkedIn. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. All the educators here, and all the best. All the best with the room as well. Anna, wonderful.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.